How's it going, everyone? This is Jose Trujillo. Welcome to another awesome session with the artist. I'm going to do a painting today, something slightly different, based on some sketches and drawings that I've been doing, some stuff that I've had. I think it's the best way to do it when you're creating from sketches, charcoal sketches, drawings, things like that. Memory also, because it challenges you, it's a challenging thing to create something from memory. It's a challenging, it helps you explore something else, right? Something beyond maybe what you're used to doing. So it creates this, something different. How's it going, Shanaz? Good to see you. So here I am getting started. Okay, I'm right here, you guys. And some people were asking me the other day, and I want to make a video because people have really asked to make certain videos, that seem to be more necessary for depending on the where you're at in your career or your path. Some people have asked me about the painting. What is it for me? And kind of like personal, right? Kind of like what does it mean to me? Certain things about. Here, let me get one of these small ones. It's going to be an 8 by 10 inches on stretch canvas. I hope you guys can see it. You guys can see it well. And I'm going to use this, I think it's a number 10. I rough off the number somewhere in my hands, but I believe it's a number. Let me get a new one. I have a new one over here. Yeah, it's a number 10. It's the same one. So, number 10 brush. And here, let's do this so that you guys can see what I'm mixing and how I am mixing. Even though I'm not in the bathroom, this is just toilet paper to clean my brush. That way you guys can see a bit more of what I'm doing in regards to color and whatnot. So I'm going to get some color right here and put it right next to each. That way you guys can see a little bit better. You guys can see the red right here. Okay, there's blue. I'm going to put the white closer right here. That way you guys can see it. There's some white. So white, blue, viridian, yellow, red. Let me get it even closer, that way you guys can see. So I'm going to put the yellow right here, and I'm going to take some red, and I'm going to put the red right next to it right here. We'll see if that's close enough. Totally messy. Okay, then I'm going to get some purple. This is my oil. I'm going to get some purple, and I'm going to put it right here. This is, you can mix your purple or you can buy it. I like to buy dioxazine purple. This is magenta. Okay. I don't think you can see the purple or the magenta. Here, let me. There you go. Something like that. Hopefully this will do it. Yeah. Some yellow right there. Let me get the red closer. And then the purple right here. The magenta is right underneath. I have the magenta right here. Okay. And then let's even bring some black to help us tone colors and whatnot. Create some. I'm going to put it right next to the white. Just because. That way you guys can see it. This is not how I set it up usually, but that way you guys can see it. Well, no, this is how I set it up, but not the bottom part. Anyways. So, some people have asked me about, painting and whatnot. what does it mean for me? What is painting for me? And where this whole thing gets started, you know, because a lot of artists, I believe that as they're going through their path, I'm going to paint an impression of the Grand Canyon, a sort of a study or small painting, however you want to call it. And some people have asked me that, you know, what does it mean to you? Is it? I naturally go for the white over there, even though I put it right here. What does it mean to you, even though we all sort of understand that painting is, for me painting, I'm going around the bushes here because I'm trying to locate where I'm going to start blocking. For me, painting is that thing that is between, and I'm gonna do a whole video on it. That way, you know, I give you guys my spiel on painting itself. But it's like, you know how some people say it's like reading between the lines. Painting is this one thing that shows me things that are not obvious, and I'm not even talking about just experiences, you know, things you can't talk about, or you know that you can, but they're harder to express, right? More difficult to express. Experiences or feelings, or you know, concepts and all this other thing. Yeah, it's all of that, but it also has a lot to do with the most simple of experiences of just being like right here, right now. And I know this is a bit esoteric, and that's why sometimes when I talk about it, people are like, "Oh, dude, you're gonna hit me out right now." But it really has to do more. For example, if I am painting something about an experience that I had, I don't know, maybe I saw the Grand Canyon when I was younger. I sketched it, or whatever. Let's say that is the experience, right? It's not only a painting of the Grand Canyon. It's a painting of how I was feeling that day, and how I am feeling today. So many times it's catharsis. Many times it's all these things, you know. And I'm not trying to make it something it's not. I think those of you who paint see what I'm talking about. When I'm painting something, it's a mixture. I call it a weaving. You're going back and forth. You're going to what's over there and what you're feeling in here, and you're connecting. So it's a language of its own. I mean, many of you guys know that it's a language of its own. Awesome. And where a lot of people get confused, and I know I used to get confused, was that I used to think this is magenta and a little bit of blue, okay? I used to think that painting had to do with representing something visually, because that's the obvious thing, you know? You're trying to represent something that is visual. It's the obvious thing, but that is not it. It is not it. It just looks that way. And the reason I'm talking about this is because this has been brought up over and over. Like, what is it to you? Like, what is painting for you? What is your thing? And a lot of people talk about the bliss, the happiness, and this and that. And yeah, you know, I mean, to each their own, right? To me, it's not just that. To me, it's not just trying to capture a moment or trying to capture something, or you know, all the obvious things. Of course, it's that as well. But I found over and over that it has to do with the retelling, if you will, of what's happening in the present moment. It's not just capturing, but you are co-creating with what is happening. That's why I believe any type of creation is very subliminal, because you are in this moment. I am not just I am not just putting paint on this. There's much more going on. There's feelings, thoughts, ideas, and all of it influences, and all of it is being put here. And I'm not talking about some super hippied out stuff like some people talk about energy and all this stuff. Yeah, sure, that too if you want to. But let's call it a less spiritual in that sense level, less sci-fi. You're actually putting in canvas or whatever you're doing. It's a little hard to explain, and I'm going to articulate it better next time. But it's not. Painting is just a vehicle. That's why it's always a little difficult to explain for me, because I never really sat there and like, well, what is it? I don't philosophize about it. I talk about other stuff, but not necessarily the painting itself. And when I talk about painting, I'm usually saying don't think about it so much or blah blah blah. But it's really it's just a vehicle. It's not. Like many people think that painting is the end game. Like, oh, I painted a pretty painting or a nice painting or a bold painting or a great statement. That in my opinion, you're lost if you think that that's the end of it. That's just the vehicle. It's like saying, I'm going to go to the park and all you do is talk about what you did, like the bus or the bike. And that was just the vehicle. The park, is where you're going. The park is what you should be talking about, not the vehicle. And of course it's exciting to talk about the vehicle. It's exciting to talk about mixing colors and this and that, but it's just the vehicle. This is not the end goal. It's like talking about a beautiful poetry, and you're talking about grammar, and you're talking about the pen, and you're talking about how you put the words together, when in reality the poetry, you're talking about something so subliminal to the human condition. You're talking about something else. It goes deeper. How's it going, Smith's Art Studio? So, in a way, that's really what I mean, and no bullshit. This is really what it is. It's really what it is. It's a vehicle. It is a vehicle. It's not that I'm trying to capture like me trying to, let's say that I was a writer, as much as a writer wants to talk about the typewriter or the I know some writers still use typewriters or use the word, the processor that they're using. It's not about that. It's a means only. It's a vehicle. The dancer doesn't talk about the practice or the shoes or the actual dance. It's a storytelling, right? It's more, and not just the storytelling about a particular thing. It's a storytelling because it's being told now by it's kind of like when you get a painting, not a painting, you're a musical, you're not a composer, you're a musician. Let's say that you play classical music, you have to make that piece yours, or otherwise, you're not, you can't play the way that Beethoven played it. You have to make it yours. Even though it was written by Beethoven, you have to make it yours. So in a way, when I'm painting something like this, I am not painting the Grand Canyon. I'm painting my Grand Canyon, not the Grand Canyon. That's why a lot of people get confused. They're like, "This doesn't look like the Grand Canyon," because it is not the Grand Canyon. This is my Grand Canyon. This is how I collected it. This is how I collected it, and this is how I express it. It is not the Grand Canyon. And I know it sounds so obvious, but still, I think as artists, we miss that. We miss that because we look at something and we're like, oh man, how can I paint that? You're looking at it wrong. You're trying to paint that. what you want to be painting is okay, that right there, yes, but what you want to paint is this right here. You're painting this, not that. Just, I know it's a strange concept, but it's from within. It's very, very, very kung fu. I think a lot of you guys who are artists, depending on where you are in your artistic career, you find that out sooner or later, that you're really, that everything you create really or recreate, or whatever you want to call it, it's an autobiography. It's not the Grand Canyon. It's not the Grand Canyon told by me either. It's the Grand Canyon seen by me also. You know, not just told by me, but seen by me, experienced by me, and then also told by me. It's a very beautiful thing. It's a hell of a thing to be a creator. Whatever you do, whether you do numbers or you do artwork or you do music, it's a hell of a thing, because it's a very spiritual thing. Totally, it's the Grand Canyon seen through your eyes and experience through your senses also, not just your eyes, not just the sense. We have more than just eyes. You know, we have more senses. So it's all these senses cooking. Maybe it was cold when I was there. You know, maybe I just had a heartache. You know, like I don't know. Maybe I was happy. Maybe I was feeling different feelings, you know, and that is what you're putting on the canvas. You're putting, and maybe not just what happened there, but it's what happened there and what's happening now. So it's all these things, you know. Maybe you're going through a growth experience in your life. Well, you're always going through a growth experience, whether you know it or not, but maybe it's obvious, you know. Maybe you're going through a divorce, and you know, or this or that, or maybe you just had a newborn. You know, and all these things. That's why it's so subliminal, and that could be said of everything, but it really isn't. When you're creating, you are in observation mode, and not just with your eyes, but you're in sponge mode. I like to call it, you know, it's like SpongeBob. Like SpongeBob. You're in that mode. So you're collecting data from everywhere, whether you like it or not, whether you want to or not, whether you're aware of it or not. You are collecting data. So not only when you're watching it, and then this Grand Canyon, whatever you're painting, you know, it's not just that. It's the accumulation of so many sketches and so many drawings and so many things that happen. It's this thing that you're cooking. That's why when people say, I like to say in Spanish, when you create artwork, you don't create like, it's not called the body of work. It's called in English. In Spanish, it's called la obra. I've talked about this in some of my earliest videos on YouTube. Because you're talking about a singular thing. It's not better or worse explained. It's just I like how it is expressed in Spanish, because you're talking about la obra. To me sounds, the way it's expressed, is a symphony of things. You know, it's not one painting, or it's not a body of work. It is a symphony of things. La obra. It's a whole thing happening simultaneously. And I love how it's expressed in Spanish. I know in other countries, in other languages, it's also very romantic, beautifully expressed too, from what I've heard from other artists. But that's one way to explain it. You know, it's like when you are a human being, you're not having a singular experience. You're having experiences. It's just that we have to dissect them. We have to be like, oh yeah, that day when it was my birthday. Well, that wasn't one experience. That was thousands of experiences, and feelings and memories and things, and you know, it's just that we have to compartmentalize it we have to chunk it in order to understand it. You know, we have to chunk it into pieces. Cut it. and break it down so that we are able to keep memory and maybe even record it and explain it later on. But that is the beauty of creation, I think. Whatever you do, whatever you create, when you record it, like I'm doing this painting right here, you're recording all of that state of. That's why it's so important to be in state of observation as an artist, because I believe as an artist you have. It's not that you have that gift. Call it that if you want to. You have the obligation to become acutely observant. You have the obligation to observe. And a lot of people get sidetracked and they think that you have to observe so that you can paint realistically. No, you have to observe so that you can be in the damn moment. This is where we go confused a lot of the times. We're like, if I observe, then I'm going to be able to paint the water the way it is. No, you're confused. That's great if you want to do that, but if that's the goal, you may be very confused. You observe in order to soak everything in. It's like I'm gonna go there. You are becoming one with it, with whatever is around you and whatever is inside of you, in your mind, in your body, in your soul, and around you. You are having communion with the present moment. It's a very beautiful thing. It's a hell of a thing to realize when you're an artist. I have glimpses of it. I'm not always there. Some people call it the zone. But you're having communion with it. You're one with it. And that is when you start actually creating artwork. You may be painting, but you start creating artwork. I believe it, regardless of what it is, whether it's abstract realism, call it any ism you want. It's only when you're having complete observation, is that you are there. And this is one of the reasons why we love art, because we can sense it. Artwork is really a mirror to our souls. We can sense it. We can sense it. And some people are great artists, and we sense it, and we sit there and we look at it, and we look at it, and we look at it. We're not looking at the artwork. We're looking at ourselves. We're not looking at the effing artwork. Great. The artwork is just it's a vehicle that allows us to see in when we see the beauty of art, or when we see the strength of art, or when we see the reality, whatever that is, of art. We're not seeing that. We're recognizing our own reality. We're recognizing our own beauty. We're recognizing our own potential. Otherwise, you could not recognize it. It's only when you see it. You're like, because it's a reflection. That's why human beings love beautiful things. We don't like it beautiful because we think, no, it's because half of the time we're thinking we're like these ugly things, whether it's emotionally or whatever it is. We're walking around like that, and then something reminds us of our beauty, our true beauty, not just inner, but our true beauty. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, our inner beauty, inside and outside." Just think of the math to be able to be a human being. The math is against you, So we see this stuff, and we're like, "Oh yeah, man, I dig it. I can see." Some cultures have that beautiful saying, "I see." It means I recognize. I think, if I were to attempt to translate that, or to not translate, but to express that, is that I recognize. When you see a painting, you're not seeing a painting, you're recognizing yourself. That's why we love it. I am mixing with, some people are asking me about the painting and the oils I'm using. I'm using walnut oil as the oil I like to use, because it doesn't smell. It really, there's no heavy fumes with it or anything like that. Just the smell of the paint, and that I can bear with that, and I can control that. But the the oil itself is walnut. People have used walnut oil in different oils. Some people try to use walnut oil. If you have never used walnut oil, you may go through a learning curve. It doesn't mean that it's the only oil. It just happened to be the oil that I wanted to start using, that I went through the learning curve. There's other oils that I've heard. I've tried some. I like them. There's just, some people use coconut oil and whatnot. Some people recommend to use only Artist. I can't say because I've never really used straight. I've used them, but I'm not long enough to understand them. What I mean is from the pantry. They say that it doesn't matter. The only thing is that they have a shelf life, and these ones have a longer shelf life. The Artist oils have a longer shelf life than stuff from the pantry. There's other things that are involved. I don't know. I couldn't say. I'm not. I don't really go out of my way to look into stuff like that. It's only when I'm going to use it that I do my homework. But if I'm not going to use it, you will not see me doing homework on stuff that I'm not going to use. So I couldn't say. But try different stuff. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is that you learn something super cool. You're like, man, I love that. Walnut oil or whatever whatever that oil is. I'm going to give you guys the money shot. Here we go, okay? I hope you guys saw some of my mixing, what I did here, and were able to I would love to. Zico says, "Mándame ese cuadro. Send me that painting you're creating." I'm gonna be posting this one on eBay, guys, and I'm gonna leave the direct link on my Instagram wall. Okay, the above, where the only place where you can put a link. You guys are gonna see the link directly to this painting. Okay. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it's really just, that's why they call it a Monet, huh? When you get close, it's like, oh, it's ugly, it's a Monet. You have to kind of give it some space. Let the colors blend in a little bit, give it a little bit of space. But yeah, let me go through the palette again, okay, guys? Because I know some of you wanted to see the palette, and I'm gonna show you the palette. I make it messy because I like making it messy. It's part of the je ne sais quoi. So here's some titanium, okay, blue. Lately, for the past few months, I've been using phthalo blue. I used to use French ultramarine, but I'm into phthalo right now just because I think it's darker. It also because I use dioxazine purple. When I used to use just French ultramarine, I didn't use dioxazine purple. I only used magenta, and then I could create the dioxazine purple really nice. I can still use create a nice purple with phthalo blue and magenta. Here's some more magenta. But it's a lot darker. So if you're into that, cool. And then I have Viridian right here. You can do everything with Viridian. Así mero, viva México. I love that. and then we have this red one. This red one is cadmium, I believe. This is cad red. This is deep red. Okay, because I use both. I use cad just red hue, and then I use the deep red. The deep red is really cool. Then I have the yellow right here. This is cad yellow, okay? Pale, I believe this one is pale. And then I have Mars black. The thing with Mars black, I like to go between lamp black and Mars black. They dry very fast, and I still pour a lot of it. I don't pour as much as the magenta as you see there, but it dries very fast. Like in a day, it'll create a very strong film over it, and it might not let you paint. And then there's the dioxazine purple. these are some of the colors. I also like to mix it up, but it's pretty standard, just a pretty standard palette. Minus the magenta and the purple, but the red. This, if you can't find, some people have told me that they can't find for whatever reason. Maybe I buy it all. Viridian, because I buy this thing like in boxes. Try phthalo green. Phthalo green is a beautiful color. I like to use it too. The only reason I use it here is because I buy it from the same store. But when I can't find Viridian, I go straight for the phthalo green because you can't go wrong with phthalo green. So there it is again, guys. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day. I'm going to be posting this painting on eBay, and the direct link is on my Instagram wall. I'm going to be posting it there in a little bit. By the time you guys, other people see this, it's going to be there already. So this is a Grand Canyon scene. What brand did I use of paint? Here I used two brands. I used Georgian and Windsor. I love Georgian. I don't know if I heard that Georgian wasn't going to be making anymore for some reason. I don't know. Someone told me in a local store, but I've been able to buy it still. So I don't know if they're cutting their stock or who knows. I like Georgian because Georgian is very fluid. Like you can it's easily mixable. And Windsor or Winton, their brand, their Winton, their student grade or their high-end grade. I mix it up a little bit. Some stuff, the highly pigmented stuff, I really like, but it's very costly too. So you want to make sure which colors you want to get for that. Muchas gracias. So there you guys have it. Thank you so much. I'm going to be showing you guys some awesome stuff daily, as I promised, and it's gonna be pretty cool. So stay tuned for later. I'm gonna be doing some. Thank you so much, Marlena. I'm gonna be doing some drawings, some watercolors, some sketches, some charcoal sketches, and some also acrylic painting. Some of you haven't seen me do acrylic painting. I like doing acrylic painting, but I like doing large acrylic painting. So I'm preparing a couple of canvases, some large ones, to do some 5-6 feet acrylic painting canvases. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.